I'm live with the new glass mat. I think this is so fun. I haven't even played with this yet. I just put it on my table. I thought I'd given myself enough time to kind of play, but we'll just play together and see what it's like. So we'll get started. It is Karen stamping on the back porch. And this amazing thing you can get for free if you buy the starter kit in January or February, starting this Thursday, January 4th. So, if your wish list is long with that new mini, the starter kit is the way to go. And remember, there's no obligation, so feel free to call me and chat about it. And you're going to see I have an Archon mount, and I need to get an extension because I can't make it so that you can see the whole thing. So that's pretty good. So Sheila and Susan, so glad you're on here. So this is just going to be a very casual introduction to just kind of play with this because mine is totally unused. I brought this. This comes with it, and you can see it can hold all kinds of little things and keep them from moving around if I wanted to do things like that. And this doesn't come off at all. I have the wiping cloth, which I have wet for cleaning. And, oh, LeVar, Tony, oh, it's so good. I never know when I do this spur of the moment thing. And then it was a little too spur of the moment. But so has some of you used a glass mat before in your crafting? This will become kind of my permanent station here, I'm thinking, because it just can do anything. In fact, did you know that if you put like the embossing machine on here, it'll help it from sliding around? All of that works. So not going to do that, but we'll play some other things. So this measures 14 by 17. So those of you who are scrapbookers, this is great because you can work on your whole big thing for that. It is heavy duty, heat and stain resistant, which means you can work on your embossing right on here. And it cleans off with water or alcohol. So that is pretty fun. So we're just going to look at what we have here. And I have some papers. So let's just start with, this is the most unprepared I think I've ever done. It's so funny because I just thought I was going to make all these plans. And then I thought, no, I'm not. I'm just going to come on and play. Okay, so let's start with just like blending. So if I put my pad in here, it's not going to move around nearly as much as if I have it out here or on my table. So that's just kind of a fun thing. And I can start, you know how we always start off the page? So I start right on the glass mat, and I will just do all of my, I can just do all of my things right there. I could do this with chalk. I could do this with anything. So I'm going to, I'm not being careful because this isn't really a teaching thing. I really would be avoiding those. And to avoid those, I would be doing more out here and then bringing it on. But this is just about playing. So when this is all done, if I'm going to change color, well, sure, let's change color. I'm just going to make sure that I'm using it in a different area. I might bring it down a little more and do it from here and come out. But you can see I can just kind of keep doing this whole thing. Now, when I'm done, I can just clean it up. Of course, now I have a little sponging. If let's say I want to use this little bit of sponging, so this will just be fun. I'm going to take just my little water spritzer. I'm going to just spritz a little water on there. I just filled this, so we'll see if we can set. I'm going to get a bigger spritzer bottle to keep by here. And let's say I just wanted to use up the rest of this paper and do something interesting with it. Let's see how it looks. Ooh, isn't that cool? Maybe I'll slide it around. So some of the things I will do on my glass mat is just make some interesting designs before I clean things up, which is kind of fun. Can you pick up the ink from that? Yes, we're going to cover all that. So keep asking questions. And if I miss them while I'm live, I will come back and answer them. So I think that is really cool. Now, let's say if I'm stamping, I'll grab another piece of paper here and I will take, we'll do Poppy Parade for our what I have here is the daisy. So I'm going to, I'm going to stamp the daisy off. Okay. And usually if I'm doing the daisy, I might do the outside in black and then the inside in another color. I just have the one color here. So for the inside, let's do a second generation, or multi-stamping. So I'm just going to stamp part of that off. Whoa, it slides really easily on that. That's for sure. Holly was telling me that she dropped a block on hers from a few inches and nothing happened. So we decided it really is resistant. But you see how I can just keep going, and now it's going to be even lighter the next time. And this can just go off on the side. So before I clean this off, so I can make this as messy as I want. Oh, and by the way, if I wanted this to stay steady, I could either use, I use these Post-it things a lot just to hold things, but I could also just use a little of the, I don't have my tape runner out here, the Stamp and Seal underneath, because this will clean that off too. So when this is done, I am going to take, oh, I have some paper towels on the floor here. I'm going to take this just to get the bulk of it out, unless I was going to do something else with it. Okay, so if I take that, and then I come in with the wet, look at that. Perfectly clean. I don't know if it's dry though. Let's just make it dry. So reverse stamping is a good question. You can. It's a little tricky because you have to hold it really still, but I'll cover that sometimes. So I'll cover a lot of things. There's a lot, if people want to know how to do that, I could quickly show that. So just remind me again at the end. And let's see. Yes, the mat comes with it, the cleaning cloth. So it's called a Glass Mat Studio, and it can just stay. It doesn't slide around. It just stays put. It's nice and heavy, and it's just pretty amazing. So let's see what else we can do. Let's say, okay, I'm just going to take some markers right now, and let's just say I'm going to make a background. I could make my backgrounds in here. There's all kinds of things I could do. But to see, I can also just color them out here. I'm going to just color these out here. And then, do you know what I forgot? I forgot my water painter because I was going to water paint this. Okay, then I would take my water painter. Since I don't have that, we are going to just spritz, and we'll just do watercolor that way because I would paint from here. But since that's sitting out in the other room, and I don't even have Tim home to go tell him to fetch. So we'll just do what we can. But you know, there's a lot of different smooshing, we call this, which is a cool technique. And I can do it flat like that. See, isn't that cool? I can also take this and drag it around. I can take different parts. I'll do a whole video on some of these techniques. But what I think is great is I don't have to bring out my silicone pads. I don't have to bring out all this other stuff to work on. So watch for some more videos where we'll do particular techniques. But I just think, isn't that just amazing? Let's see. Then, yeah, right now, this is just a special for people joining. So who knows what they're going to do next? Let's see what else we have to do here. We'll keep questions coming. Okay, let's look at Stamp and Blend. So I have my water bottle here in a little spritzer. I'm going to get a little larger one and just leave it on my desk now that I'm using this because I'll go through it too quickly. But I'll still use this for spritzing for my crafting. And then I have one that has alcohol in it. And to show the difference, I just put a little colored dot on the end of this. And I just put it on with a glue dot. Because when we're using markers, then we're going to want to switch and use alcohol. So now it's really interesting. Let's say if I have this off, I could even write some notes on the side here if I wanted to write down measurements, but I'm just going to color these. And first of all, let's try spritzing this with the alcohol one. And I have watercolor paper. I don't know why I'm working on the edge here. I have no idea, but okay, we're going to spritz this a little. I'm going to put my watercolor paper on there, and we're going to see what this does. This dries very quickly. Now, how cool is that? Now, I'm going to, okay, we're going to change this time, and we're going to smoosh it. So I'm going to put more of that on, and more of this. This will dry really quickly, so you just want to get this all done sooner. And I'm going to take this, and this time I'm going to smoosh it. I'm going to practice more with these techniques because we're going to have a bunch of techniques coming up. And then we can do all kinds of interesting things. That's still not the look I'm going for, but at least you see the idea. And now I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to let this part dry so we can come back and clean it up. let's see. Then, so both markers and blends can be used. So I've used both markers and blends. So the difference is these are water-based. My ink pads are water-based. All of these, you're going to use water to clean up. The blends are alcohol-based, so you're going to use alcohol to clean them up. Alcohol will also help take up any little tape pieces or anything, so you'll just play with that. Hand sanitizer would also work. So all these kinds of things will work. I'm just going to make sure that dries enough that it won't come off with water. Let's see. Yeah, there. See, this is not going to come off with water, but when I take my alcohol and spritz it, I'm still going to first do it this way and then come back and clean it up more thoroughly this way. Look at that. It is perfect. Isn't it great that you can use everything on here? So you can assemble your cards. You can do everything on here. Now, in addition to that, so right now, the only way you can get this is to sign up and get the starter kit in January and February. And then if they have supplies left, they're opening up for current demonstrators. And then I don't know about, I mean, we have no idea what the plans are. So all I know is this is the best way to make sure you get one. Here's something else that is really cool. You know, all these new tools that go with the Pick a tool. And I put one in here. I put the X-Acto one. This is one of the new ones that comes here. We do blades. Oh, I've got, we just need more time to play with all these. What's really interesting is I can cut my paper. Let's say I want to cut around. So this could be a stamped image, or it could be, I could use a ruler and do a straight line. I'm kind of going around the red here, if you kind of see that. I'm gonna make sure, yep, it went through. And nothing is there. So people love glass mats for lots of other crafting too, not just paper crafting, but how cool is that? There is just, I mean, I just think it is so hardy, you can hardly mess up. To just say, because there was that question about reverse stamping, I'll just show you what that means if anyone isn't sure, and I don't have I don't have like a black ink out here, but we're just going to pretend. And I just have this one stamp. So we're going to pretend this is a reverse stamp. I want my two daisies to be two different ways. So I'm going to put this on, and you can already tell that I smudged, because that's the biggest trick in reverse stamping. So I usually do reverse stamping on a silicone mat because it doesn't slide quite as much, but it can be done. You see, it's a little lighter. And then when I put this one next to it, you'll see the difference. But you see they're facing each other. So you could take like the two cows facing each other, all kinds of little things like that. So it will work if you hold really steady. So any other questions? I think this is pretty exciting to have them come out with such a cool new product. So I'm really excited. I'm going to have to, this will be going in the car with me while we're traveling. So I said, we're going to have to figure that out, because now I'll find it's the thing I can't live without, but anyway, so I just wanted to come on. So Thursday, we're having a catalog kickoff party with 4 lives. 1 o'clock will be our traditional live where we actually all create something together, and the other 3 will be showing other new things. And then the next day in the Backport Stampers, we're going to have another party as we just keep continuing. And there'll be lots of drawings, lots of new things. And call me if you have questions about anything like this. Call me, message me, and we can always chat. So I think that's good. And thank you so much. I think I answered everything, but what I love most is the general purpose of it all. I think it just will totally protect my surface. It'll be easier to have things around, and it can all just be cleaned up. It's just pretty amazing. So thanks. And we'll see you guys for the party. It starts at 10 a.m. on Thursday. And we're going to be announcing the card play retreat, what we're using, and all kinds of other fun stuff. So have fun.